Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we're back with another local semi-final this time, not the final match. And we have Paleozoic versus Branded. This time I'm not the one playing Branded. I decided to take a rogue approach to these locals. I will upload the final match of the local also, but I thought this game was worth showing. The player on the left plays a weird list, 54 cards or something. Brand is a deck that can have multiple playstyles. No, there's not one standard list. So as long as it works, it's fine. Win the die roll, and I choose to go first, obviously. Now for Paleo, Brand is one of the worst matchups, if not the worst, because the main disruptions of the deck are distraction and booking the opponent's monsters, which is not the greatest against Branded. The traps I have are not the best, but luckily I hit a backjack with this Dragon Maid. But as you see, backjack hits Balance of Judgment and Daruma, which are both very bad against Branded. But I thought if I could solve the game and make him make a big board but being unable to outgame me, I thought the Balance of Judgment will give me so much value, so I stuck it on top with Backjack. And the goal was to survive one turn and basically win the grand game with the advantage that Balance of Judgment and the activated Morganite, which basically is good after turn 3. And the goal of my deck is to survive. He starts with a very good opening hand with Lobelion plus Albion, as you see, drawing a bunch of cards and also dumping the cards he wants to have a resource advantage. And brand opening, of course, gives you access to brand fusion. He discards Saronir, so that by itself it's access to any 2 branded cards in the deck. So I'm in immediate danger. He chooses to summon Quem and not Aluber, so he does a more aggressive play. Or he doesn't have access to a Cartesia, which is pretty strong. He chooses to foolish brand fusion of Salnir, and with Quem he dumps Cartesia. He dumps Albas. Very aggressive from his side, but dumping Albas just implies that he has Cartesia in hand. He adds back Retribution. With Retribution, he adds back Fusion. He says to cut, so that means he has a draw spell, which is a lot of darkness. And the advantage just get crazy from here because he draws 2 and banishes a Mercurier, which gives him a Sprig and Skate. He just got +2. And I don't have any kind of good disruption right now. The goal is to survive one turn and then just use Balance of Judgment and Morganite to re-establish a board and possibly make a 4 material Zeus to get rid of his board. But he unfortunately has a Fight for Patchwork, which immediately threatens my whole field because Guardian Chimera is a very good card against back row decks because it pops back row without targeting it. And I have a Trap Trick set which will shuffle the deck and I will not get the guaranteed Balance of Judgment hit of Backjack. So I try to shotgun a few traps here and there just to to not be threatened by Guardian Chimera that much. Rise to full heights basically guarantees the survival of the turn. But Guardian Chimera is how you beat the trap deck. So I have to shotgun some things that will not give any value whatsoever. Canidia on Quem is kinda good because he cannot revive something from the graveyard. So at least you get that. Plus I get an extra body for the next turn. He tries special summoning the kit, but I tell him that he doesn't have a Albaz fusion in the graveyard. He activates the second Allure of Darkness, gaining even more pluses. It's getting out of hand right now. He banishes, fortunately, the Agent Chain and not a Tragedy, because if he bans the Tragedy, adding any Despia monster, Albert of course, it is basically over. He special summoned the Cartesia, and now he has like 7-8 cards in the hand. I know Brain Fusion and Polymerization. So he has a way to make full board and break my board. And he fuses with Dark Magician, and that got me a little panicked. Because when I say Dark Magician, it obviously means he plays a dragon. He plays Dragoon, and he wants to go for Dragoon line, which threatens my win condition. Because what I want to do is do a Balance of Judgment, draw a bunch of cards, and then Time Tearing Morganite, draw 2 in the next turn. But if he makes a Dragoon before that, I will just have the draw 2 of Morganite, which is useless against a full brand board. The last card I think is Trap Trick. Not much I can do. The only thing that could save me is if I draw a level 2 monster that can make Opabinia, which will be unaffected by the Dragoon or Mirror Jade. And I could add a trap and then make Zeus. But we will have to see. I used Trap Trick, and I had to activate Backtrack because I wanted the guaranteed trap. Maybe if he didn't Guardian Chimera, I would still draw the cards. And I activate Rise to Full Heights right now before he fuse, because if he fuse, I cannot make any response, and that threatens the entire field. I choose to target Dragon Maid, of course, because the paleo is unaffected. So if he summons a Mirror Jade, he cannot out the paleo. And I have to use Trap Trick now. And I'm thinking if I want to set Waboku to prevent my monster from getting destroyed, but I see the threat is brand lost. And somehow from 10 cards he had, he is down to 4 and 2 in his hand. So I don't know how he did that, but he now has to summon the Guardian Chimera and basically have one blank card plus a Brand Fusion, which is again very much against my single top deck. He obviously will go for the Guardian Chimera to pop my last back row, even if he doesn't know what it does. He of course uses the face down Quem, Spriggan's Kit, and a monster from his hand to make a Guardian. And he will pop the 2 cards he can pop, leaving me only with 1 paleo. And now I have only the 2 draws from Orgonite. I think he drew an Albion, which is not live because he used it at the start of the turn. He activates Brand Fusion, and I think, yeah, that's Dragoon. He will not go for Mirror Jade. He has Dark Magician in the graveyard, which is very, very threatening. I don't think he even was sure what to summon there. He has not played the matchup ever. He's thinking. I hope he resolves the effect soon. He will go for Albion, the fusion, who is already in the graveyard because he used Brand High Spirits, I think. And he makes Dragoon using Saronir and Dark Magician. Going with a single negate Dragoon because he has one card in the hand, but of course he will just add back Cartesia in the end phase. I say explain to him how Rise to Full Heights works, meaning he can't attack. He proceeds to the end phase, adding back Cartesia, and he adds with Albion the brand in red, and he immediately activates it, I think, making a Mirror Jade. So now I have two cards to play with, and I have to out a Dragoon and a Mirror Jade. Not the easiest. Now, spoiler alert, there was a way to out it, because I play Typhoon, which I completely forgot. I have not played the deck. It was my first time playing the deck, so I forgot I had the Typhoon in the extra deck. So I could just summon Typhoon and out two of his monsters. He activates Mirror Jade, and I explained to him that paleo is unaffected. But so he chooses to just banish one of his monsters. Okay, fun moment. He outed the Mirror Jade by himself, but he adds a Mercurier, which would be an answer to Typhoon if I make one. I draw a Pot of Desires. I thought I could bait him, maybe to not use Dragoon and draw a monster, so I could go for Zeus, but the correct play was obviously going for Typhoon and then using Desires, drawing two cards, and I would just set three. It would be a better play than what I did. He obviously will negate with Dragoon and I lose the game. So that was game one. Yeah, I just set one card, which I think it was a Liancolia, which does nothing. Yeah, unfortunately, but we have two more games where we could try to get back. Paleo losing game one is kinda difficult because the win condition is to win game one because there is a lot backer removal. But thankfully, we have access to Debater post side deck, so I'm hoping that if we establish multiple debaters through game 2 and 3, we could win this match. He just activates some cards to end game 1. It really doesn't make a lot of difference. He just needs one monster to out. He just summons Mercurial and attacks for game, so yeah, that's it. Oh, I had lost Mint actually, not Leancolia. It doesn't make a difference at all. He just can Dragoon negate. And I lose the game. Yep, unlucky. Moving on to game 2. The game plan, as I said, is to set up a deep barrier. But sometimes that's not enough to win the game. You need access to good traps. But I do the best play and just set for pass. Fast turn from my side. I shotgun Needleback Nest, milling one paleo and one demise. I mean, I could use the demise last turn. Unfortunate, but not the worst. I hit a trap trick. He starts his turn with activating Quem. He mills an Albaz, which means he has Cartesia again in hand. He activates it. Very predictable. I see Dark Magician again in his hand. I think he drew it 2 out of 2 games. I think he literally has the same hand both games. He fuses with Edge and Chain. There, I did a huge misplay. I had Tratrick set. I think I should just shotgun it and set a deep barrier. But I didn't want to lock myself out of using trap cards, so I got a bit greedy. Um, Overall, I think that was the correct play. Because now he gets a lot of advantage. I should just use trap trick when I saw Cartesia. He dumps Albion. I think he forgot to add with Edge and Chain. So now he has 3 cards in his hand and one of them is Dark Magician. He chains Branded in red to my trap trick. So I do a very weird play, I know. I chain Waboku to chain the paleo, and I chain all Enoids to destroy my own trap. Because what I wanted to do here is have a paleo in graveyard, so I had access in the next turn for a Zeus play plus Opabinia, and I had no other way of making it because Needleback Nest's mills were terrible. So that play basically guarantees a Zeus line. Yeah, I'm on the back foot again, just because I didn't use the trap trick to set a deep barrier. And now I resolve my trap trick. Thankfully, I have Waboku resolved, so I don't die this turn and my monster is unaffected. He hard summons a dragoon. I said the barrier way too late, I know. It was a bad play. He tries to activate Dragoon to pop my monster, but I tell him he's unaffected. I think it's his first time reading paleo cards. Always this fun interactions with this deck. Now I am on a very difficult place, and he uses the Albion, the Strat Dragon, the Brand Dragon. I'm sorry. It is very hard, all that because I misplayed. He adds branded opening and not any kind of brand in red or whatever. So I was hoping he will activate it, and when he discards, I will chain branded. I will chain deep barrier, so I could get a paleo. I draw, I set two more, and I pass my turn. Very, very difficult game. All that because I used the trap trick way too early. Thankfully, I had two Wabokus in my opening hand. I only set one because I wanted to play around Duster. And he activates Brand Fusion, and because he wants to go for game, he gets greedy there, and he negates Waboku. He tries to negate Waboku, discarding with Dragoon. But he knows I have a D-Bearer, so that doesn't make any difference. And D-Bearer will negate the Dragoon, and I could chain the paleo there. And he forgot to use Cartesia to fuse, which would trigger the Quem, and he would block me from using a paleo. But I don't think he knows the interaction because it's a very weird deck and a very old deck. Not many people know how to counter it. Now finally I have a way to make a Dragoon. Unfortunately, because all his monsters are in attack, um, I summon a Pabinia. I thought I would summon Toad, and I could Toad Crash and then use Dunner Juice, but that is not the greatest play. I think Opabinia is very good here because I drew the third Waboku, and that guarantees I have more follow-up. Unfortunately, we're past the point where I can summon a Typhoon, but I can use Olenoids to either bait Dragoon or summon another Paleo. Here is Olenoids, a very weird card, and the play was very disgusting. Using Liancolia just to put back Tiber. I don't know why he even tries to negate with Dragoon. I don't know exactly. It doesn't make any threat, but now I can use Marella from hand because I have Opabinia, and now I have a transaction rollback access, which is basically another D-bearer or Wabok or whatever. And now finally I can go for Zeus line because I can copy trap trick and set another trap, which will bring back a paleo. So I can go for the toad line I explained earlier. Again, the deck is pretty hard to pilot. It needs a lot of patience and a lot knowledge about the matchup from both sides, obviously. But playing a 2016 deck against a 2022 deck doesn't help. Now I'm thinking of what to set exactly. I have a lot of traps wasted in the graveyard, so I cannot duplicate them because I have not two copies in the deck. So my best bet was either Liancolia or Needleback Nest. I actually don't remember what I did. So it seems I choose Needleback Nest. Basically because there are a lot good hits of Needleback, like Rollback or Paleos, which do hit two Paleos plus Rise to Full Heights, which is good in grind game. The tune will recycle a trap. It's not that necessary, but in case I banish my rollback with SP, I could use the second tune to also put back the D-bearer, and I could use a trap trick to have access again if I don't have a rollback. So I go Toad attack the Cartesia. And now I have basically Donner Juice, which is very, very good. He has 0 cards. And Toad cannot bug the milled Dragon Maid. So that was a good meal actually. It turned out it was very good. And now he has only Cartesia at back. And there I mill 2 more paleos plus a magic deflector. The deflector was basically to counter Super Poly or Branding High Spirits. I had literally no other card other than Deeper to put in, so that's why I played it. And SP gets rid of his last follow-up, so now I leave him with basically nothing. And the reason why Opabinia was not sent of Zeus is because it's unaffected from all other monster effects, like every other paleo. So that's very good, and that's why I used Toad to make Zeus, because Toad would just be sent to the graveyard either way. And the third Waboku was enough for him. So thankfully we go to game 3. So let's see who wins this. And now it's time for the all-important game 3, as a good friend of mine says. He will start his turn going first. I'm at a great disadvantage playing a trap deck. He basically gets 2 turns instead of 1. He starts his turn with opening, pitching, Edge and Chain. Same hand 3 games in a row. I mean, that's a very good opening. He uses opening to get Tragedy, and Edge and Chain will search Patchwork, which will search Poly and Edge and Chain. He just skipped a step. Searching Tragedy obviously means he has a lot of darkness. He gets a little greedy because he doesn't play around roll, but obviously playing against the 60 card trap deck, you don't expect draw. And he's absolutely correct. I don't have draw, but if he did that against a normal match, he could be very, very hard punished. So guys, if you do all that, please do it in draw phase and obviously summon Aluber instead of adding Tragedy. You will get punished. I have done it before. I got punished. I lost the game. So he draws so many cards with Allure, Tragedy and Albion. He basically has a new hand. And he has everything he needs to establish a great board. Now, the good thing about Paleo is that Branded has not too much back removal other than Borlord Furious and Guardian Chimera. And the best thing is it does not insta-lose to Puppet. I can just set 5 and pass. So that is an advantage I have. If he goes for a Puppet line, which obviously he will not go, he's not stupid. He has Lost plus Brand Fusion. Again, more advantage, more follow-up, more hard to out the board because I cannot interrupt his fusions, especially after they are successfully summoned. He makes Albion, chain blocks with Lost. Not that I could chain anything under Lost. And he adds Mercurier. It's okay, Mercurier sometimes hurts, but sometimes it doesn't. I think in my hand I have 4 or 5 traps, so it's not that bad. Having many traps is a great advantage against Branded, because if he chooses to Guardian Chimera blind pop, it's not guaranteed that he will pop something good. Plus, Paleos come back from the graveyard. He makes Lubellion. He tries to activate Edge and Chain mid chain, and I tell him first, you cannot do that. Secondly, you have already triggered the Edge and Chain. He goes for Mirror Jade. which is good news for me because I don't see Dragoon again. He summons Albion for he summons Lubelin for no reason. Then he summons Cartesia. I'm sorry, and he fuses. So Lubelin was just there for an extra summon, I guess. He summons Grand Guignol with Cartesia. I don't know why he doesn't fuse with Albert, because Albert in the graveyard is a negate, and it's just more follow up if you can summon it off Albion. He dumps Jinjo XD, but unfortunate for him, I now do remember that I play Typhoon, so Jinjo does not do absolutely anything. And he bans his Mercurier of Allure of Darkness, so now I basically guarantee my Typhoon to work because he cannot negate it, and that's very good. It's out to Mirror Jade, cutting him from any follow-up. He activates Polymerization, I think for no reason, and he summons Masquerade. Actually, no, it wasn't for no reason. We were very close to time. We had 7 minutes, I think, left. So we both needed to play a bit faster. And putting me under the pressure of Masquerade is very good of him, especially when I play a trap deck and I need multiple minutes to try and establish a board to go for game. And he uses Cartesian Albion to set up his Sanctifier line, which is useless against me, but he doesn't know that. I drew Denomiskos, and I think I have 4 or 5 traps plus Dragon Maid in hand. He shotguns the Brand in red, again for no reason. He summons the Sanctifier. He doesn't activate Lost, he just activates Sanctifier, giving me Jinjo, and he gets Salber. So that's okay, he gets the advantage of follow-up Brand Fusion, and I am under a Royal Degree, which I can just out by summoning Typhoon. Because Typhoon locks you from summoning, I have to take the 600 damage from Masquerade, but it is very worth it. As you see, I have Rollback plus Rise to Full Heights plus Balance of Judgment. I summon Typhoon. Now he cannot use Mirror Jade, which is extremely good in this case. And I will go to the battle phase. I will not use the effect because I won't take any damage. That puts us almost equal to life points. I have 200 less, and Dragon Maid gets over Albert. He tries to activate Mirror Jet, but I tell him he cannot do that. We are both under the pressure of time. I use Typhoon and get rid of Mirror Jade. And now I can use my Tune to discard the Paleo for follow-up purposes, to have a summoning body to the graveyard. And I draw 2 more cards. And I just set 4. I set 5. And I pass my turn. He summons back the Masquerade. And I have a rollback access for the next turn. He draws for turn. He activates Prime Fusion. No, he summons Albert and activates the effect. And he adds Opening, which I'm pretty fine with it. That means he doesn't play the second red, as we knew from game 1. I chain Deep Barrier to Fusion. Now he has a lot less resources. I chain Paleo to the Deep Barrier. Now I have 2 bodies, and I can protect them with Rise to Full Heights. But I want to go for game on the round. And we have like 4 minutes left, I think. So we both need to play fast if we don't want to go for time. And kudos to him for playing fast and not stalling me to go into time. That's great sportsmanship from him. And he draws a couple cards, he adds back a couple cards to have a follow-up. He adds back with Retribution, the brand in red. Good idea to go for Garden Chimera on my turn. If he attacks over my Typhoon, he sets before the battle phase. Okay. And he goes straight into battle phase, I think. Attacking with Masquerade first. I will activate the Dharma Cannon. I don't want to get any more damage. Because he attacked with Masquerade, I could chain the Rise to Full Heights, and he could only attack this. But if he knew the ruling, he could just cancel the attack and not get any damage. So I activate Balance of Judgment, drawing 2 cards because that's the difference of the card advantage. And then I use my Trap Trick. Because I milled the rollback earlier, I can activate Marella, and that gives me a way to out his entire board with Elemental Burst. And I copy Elemental Burst with rollback. I have even less life points now, so the pressure is on me. I have to play extremely fast as he gets rid of his cards one by one. Okay. And he has 2 cards in hand, and I have a completely new hand. I have 2 paleos in hand. I draw for turn Soldier Dragons, and I try to go to the battle phase to get ahead in life points. He of course has the Masquerade. He puts it in attack, and then he swaps in defense. It's okay. I mean, I can chain Soldier Dragons, summoning a body, attack with Typhoon, milling 3, hits backjack actually, that's very good. What I place, it really doesn't matter, I have much follow-up. And I attack with Typhoon and all my monsters, putting us almost equal to life points. I think he still has more, but we have like 2 minutes left in time at that point of the game. Opabinia adds me Marella or Liancolia. Liancolia is actually better. I have the rollback banished, so I summon back a paleo. I put back the rollback, so I have a deeper access. Guaranteed he will not make any fusion. And I make the Anomalocaris and Zeus, which is not live, but who cares right now. I set 2 and pass. Now we have 2 minutes on the clock. I have a pretty established board, he cannot out it. So now it depends on him if he wants to slow play as fuck. He has Brand Fusion, which I tell him will not resolve because I have a rollback. And he has Twin Twister, discarding the Brand Fusion. When he decides to. Yeah, I got a little nervous if we went to time. Popping the sets was actually good for me because it triggers Anomalocaris, and I had the revealed trap. And his last card was Thrust, which is very weird. Why would he hold Thrust if he doesn't know that I activate the monster effect. But whatever, I actually do activate the monster effect. And he activates talent to take. He takes Typhoon, not Zeus. I don't know why. I immediately pop it with Anomalocaris. He has 0 cards. Um, he cannot stall for time even legally at this moment. So all I need to do is just flip my masters and attack. With 1 minute left on the clock, I win. So GG's. Guys, thank you for watching. If you like the video, please like, comment down, and hit the subscribe button.